The suspect ran down this hill, and witnesses say he jumped over this 5-foot fence and then disappeared. In this new community, the builder has been forced to stop construction on all new homes. Several are in foreclosure and others just aren't selling. Identity theft is a growing problem, and the Department of Consumer Affairs warns that most thieves will steal your vital information right from your mailbox. If you think gas prices are high now, economists say prices could skyrocket up to $5 a gallon this summer. Investigators have yet to release the name of the woman whose body was found in this wooded area. 8 people are dead, and now hundreds of Americans are sick from a salmonella outbreak. I'm Crystal Glass. Coming up at 6 o'clock, I'll tell you what popular grocery store item to watch out for. Despite the recent closing of this Linen and Things, other retailers remain confident that the economy will bounce back. Reporting from Atlanta, I'm Crystal Glass. Myrtle Beach visitors soak up the sun, and some enjoy the surf despite warnings of Tropical Storm Hannah. Rain or shine, this wedding must go on. Fortunately for these newlyweds, Hannah stormed through the night and was gone by the morning.
I just continue to pray to God just to blow the storm over faster so everybody could just get down here safely and I have sunny skies, and he came through.
States along the eastern seaboard were hit hard with heavy rain and winds reaching up to 50 miles per hour. Hannah is the third storm this month to hit the U.S. First, Tropical Storm Faye hit Florida with severe flooding and record rains. Then Gustav left its path of destruction in New Orleans, leaving nearly 1 million people without power. And Hannah spared South Carolina with only a few reports of damage. South Carolina native Glenda Hannah shares the tropical storm's name and says they have a lot in common.
In and out, fast. I go do what I need to do and then I leave.
The short-lived storm Hannah didn't put a damper on this wedding.
We're blessed to have survived Hannah, and if that is any representation of what this love is going to do, they're going to survive every storm.
And since this was a sign that the storm had passed, worried residents now feel,
oh, relief. Relief, definitely relief. Relief, relief.
Reporting from Myrtle Beach, I'm Crystal Glass. You may think yo-yoing is just a hobby, but what you probably didn't know, there's an annual competition that takes yo-yoing to a whole new level. It's a competitive sport often unheard of, yo-yoing.
Well, yo-yoing has changed a whole lot since the walk the dog stage.
No longer just typical schoolyard fun, competitors come from all over to compete at the World Yo-Yo Contest in Orlando, Florida.
They land the tricks and you just can't believe it. You just go, and then they do something else more amazing.
We're seeing literally hundreds of new tricks every single day at a contest like this.
Contestants as young as 11 perform tricks and stunts.
Most of the yo-yo players don't start yo-yoing until they're in their early 20s. But you have here in the United States and Mexico and Canada where the kids are learning when they're 10 and 12, and they're up against each other.
Caitlin Anton is one of the few females to compete. She placed highest among other female competitors and says yo-yoing is not always about winning.
A lot of times, I think one of the biggest faults of the yo-yoing community is people just see winning. And a lot of times people will go to a contest, and if they don't come in first place, they don't find much of a reason to be there.
For many, yo-yoing is a hobby. For others, it's as difficult as any other competitive sport.
It's incredible, and every year, every month, every day, it just keeps, these kids just keep coming up with things. It's amazing.
Reporting from Orlando, I'm Crystal Glass. It's the beginning of early voting for the historic 2008 presidential election. With only 6 weeks until Election Day, polls in Atlanta, Georgia opened its doors for early voting.
I think for the first time a lot of people want to hear their voices heard that either haven't had them heard in the past or have been reluctant to come out and really vote for what was important to them.
Some early voters anticipated long lines and brought books to read to pass time. Others were just excited to vote. Take a look at this line. These are voters that came out to avoid the November 4th rush, and as you can see, they still have to wait. The economy, health care, and layoffs are the main issues driving voters to the polls.
You know, my job went overseas, and I was the only one left here because of the fact that I'm bilingual. But I worry about my job, my 401k, definitely worry about that. I worry about my kids' future.
States that allow early voting, like Georgia, have seen an unprecedented turnout.
With about 1,000 to 1,300 a day, we'll probably look at maybe having 40,000 votes cast, 45,000 votes cast before the actual polls open for everybody to come vote. And with 360,000 registered voters, that's a pretty good chunk of voters coming out.
Some stood in line for up to 3 hours to cast their vote. Many voters weren't deterred by the long lines.
We anticipate a large turnout on Election Day, and we want to get a jump start or a head start on voting.
And though early voting is designed to ease Election Day congestion, officials predict that voting lines will be just as long come Election Day. Reporting from Cobb County, I'm Crystal Glass.